Hi everybody, this is Benny Greb here for Long and McQuade, and I want to tell you about my new signature snare drums. Now, here's the deal. Maybe some of you remember the original snare drum. That was a decade ago. I still had hair back then, unbelievable. But I love this snare drum. It was a 13 by 5.75 and out of beechwood, and it's super versatile. There's something magical about that size that makes it easy to tune. It doesn't do weird overtone thingies in different tunings, and I really, really love it. And I've used it over the years in all kinds of situations, and I really love it, and it really proved itself, so to speak. Now, it had a couple of features back then that we updated, or shall I say upgraded, actually. So, one of the things was there was a plastic kind of black ring out around the drum that looked nice, but we now changed it to an actual Bubinga inlay. So the outer, it's a beech shell, the outer layer is Scandinavian birch, but there's a Bubinga wooden inlay in the drum, which looks gorgeous, I think. So that's number one. Number two is we changed the snare strainers. We now have the dual glide from Sonor, which is a wonderful, easy-going. It's very easy to operate. If you're show-offy, you can even do it with your knee, which I don't do very often, only at the NAMM show. But it's a nice to operate snare system here, and it works wonderfully with the drum. Now, what we also did was, because I play the vintage series mainly, I love the Teardrop Lugs. These are the Teardrop Lugs that Sonor did in the 50s. And we updated them, we gave them tune-safe technology, so when you tune them and do them in different tunings, they hold the tuning a little bit longer and more consistent. So that's great, but they look exactly like they used to look, and I think they're the best looking lugs on the market. Now, the biggest thing maybe that we have changed are that it comes with two internal dampeners that I developed with Sonor. They're called the monorail dampeners, and there are two of them, and they have different materials. So we have a clear head here. It looks kind of like this. We have two different materials. One we call the felt, and one we call the sheep. But it's vegan, so it's not real sheep, but it's real felt. So you have two different dampening surfaces that you can either engage by just turning this knob and slide it up and down. You fix it into position, and it's there. It takes 1 second to really get to a different sound. It's also the first internal dampener that is in the right position. Usually internal dampeners are way too much into the playing surface. This is really at the edge, and is where it should be dampened. You don't have to use any gels or tape anymore. You can really change the sound drastically in many different steps, actually. So let me demonstrate that for you. So this again is the wooden model, the beech model, and you get a very open, nice tone like you used to get with the other snare drum. So this timbale is kind of nice overtones. Now, if you want a little bit more dampening, you use the felt. And here's the difference. Right? So you have more control, and you have a nice funky sound. But you still have a little bit of that. You have more overtones there, more bass in the middle. Now, if you want more dampening, you use the sheep. And if you want even more, you just use both of them. Very wonderful snare drum, and you can very easily go to different tunings, but I will explain this with the other one. Now this guy over here has the same features, the same sizes, but it's a different flavor. So it's also a 13 by 5.75, has the vintage lugs, the dual glide, and the internal dampeners, but it is a 1.2 millimeter brass shell. We call this vintage brass. It's a little bit aged. It has a lasered ring around it, and it looks amazing. I'm of course biased, but I think it's amazing, okay? So this drum has everything you would expect from a brass shell. So it has warm overtones. It has this roundness. It's probably the warmest, roundest kind of metal shell that you can get. But you still get a nice open. So, again, the same thing. More controlled, or even more, right? And you can get very easy to this very deep kind of, if you just loosen like a couple of lugs or tuning rods, and you have this very deep, substantial. And with a couple of turns again. Right? So you get really from. I'll do it again because it's so much fun. So you have very different sounds available in just a couple of seconds. I find it super versatile. It's beautiful. I love those things. These are the new Benny Greb signature snare drums from Sonor. Check them out at L&M McQuade, and you'll be happier.
Thanks for watching. To be notified of more videos from our trip to NAMM this year, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon. Leave a comment or question below, and check out our video playlist of all the latest and greatest products at NAMM.